So UFC 305 just happened over this past weekend on Saturday, and Israel Adesanya versus Dricus du Plessis was the main event. And let's be honest, it's time for Israel Adesanya to retire. I am a huge Israel Adesanya fan. He is my third favorite fighter. John Jones, Tony Ferguson, then Izzy, then Dustin. The list goes on, right? But I think it's time for him to retire. Looking at that fight, if you guys watched my last video going in, I told you exactly what the two keys to victory were. Either Dricus is going to really have to wrestle, or Izzy is going to really have to stand his ground with his boxing. And he was doing that. He was potentially up 3-1 going into the fifth round. If Dricus didn't sub him, Izzy more than likely would have been up 3-1. He was winning that round, I believe. Could have been 2-2, but who knows, right? And I think with Israel, for one, I think the weight, him putting on weight, put on some sort of factor. He didn't look as sharp. He didn't look as fast. He gassed out. I've never seen Israel Adesanya gas out before. And I definitely think that extra weight, that extra muscle played a part in it. He didn't really know how to handle it, per se, because he's always a pretty lean guy. And then also, I think something else was his defensive
3 days later.
Defensive weaknesses, that's the word I was looking for. I think his defensive weaknesses are really, he doesn't block punches. If you pay attention, he blocks kicks really well, checks the kicks, checks a head kick. But as far as blocking punches, his main head movement is his main defense, is head movement. He's really more moving his head off the center line. You know, he has a really tall frame, lanky arm, so, you know, framing, pawing away with his jab, or just moving out of the way, right? And I think with the Dricus thing, right, he was doing really good, but I think the mistake he made, and when you have an opponent coming forward and he's blitzing with hooks, you don't run towards either side with the hooks. Stand your ground, exactly like he did with Pereira. You stand your ground, you move, let him through, and then you go out of your way. It's the mistake that Volk made versus Ila Topuria. He actually did stand his ground. He saw Topuria coming forward, but what Volk tried to do, Volk tried to sit there and clinch and got caught. Like, come on, you don't do that. But with Izzy, he tried to run away because he kept getting away with it the whole fight. And I just think that wasn't the smart move. Dricus takes him down, gets the hooks in, sinks in a choke, boom, easy, right? And I think Israel's going to be pretty pissed when he goes back and watch that fight, because he was doing really good. He was turned, like, as the fight went on, it was just beautiful to watch him just really work the body. It was a workout. His boxing, that was probably the best boxing performance offensively I have seen from him. His boxing looked fucking sharp, dude. It looked really sharp, man. But I think he really needs to work on his defense. Gotta work on that defense, man, because you gotta learn how to block some punches. Listen, Anderson Silva, no disrespect, he was able to do it because he did not fight the level of strikers that we see today. He didn't fight a Rob Whittaker, a Jared Cannonier, a Dricus, a Sean Strickland. He didn't have to fight those guys. He fought, no disrespect, he fought fucking Forrest Whitaker. You know what I mean? He could get away with not blocking punches. Izzy, you gotta learn how to block punches. And I saw he was in Mexico. You could tell his boxing has improved. He really worked on his boxing. You can see it. But that defense has to get better. And to give Dricus credit, like I mentioned in my prediction video, is wrestling. Now, I think he did tire him. If you look at it, him tiring himself out with the wrestling and then getting hit with body shots. Going forward, I think Dricus is going to get beat. I think it's only a matter of he's going to get beat. His susceptibility to body shots is just crazy. Body kicks, body shots, it's kind of crazy. I think someone like a Hamza Chimaev, someone like a Sean Strickland can beat him. I honestly do, because they're more so Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland is fundamentally sound. That's why he had more, I won't say success, but that's why he really wasn't any sort of trouble against Dricus as much as Izzy was, because he was just so fundamentally sound with his defense. So I do think Izzy can beat him. It's just he got to get that defense better. But credit to Dricus, because he was gassed out and still came forward. That's the heart of a champion, bro. So you gotta give him credit for that. But going forward, where does Izzy go from here? He only has one more run left in him. Let's be honest. He's not gonna be going on all these runs, right? So 1-3 in his last 4. I think the next step for him is possibly fight the winner of Cannonier Imanov. You fight them, boom. Then you possibly fight a Vettori, Brendan Allen, or you fight the winner of a Hamzat, or the loser of a Hamzat in possibly the winner. Cause Alex Pereira is talking about coming down to 185 to fight Dricus. Hamzat or Rob wins. You set up a third fight with him and Rob, or you get the fight with Chimaev and Izzy. I think those are two really big fights. And then the winner gets a #1 contender spot right back in the title picture by this time next year, right? So I think Izzy, it's not over yet. But if I'm him, just me taking a precautionary. I'm a Tony Ferguson fan. I've seen how this goes. You know what I mean? So I just don't want to see it happen with Izzy. But I very well do believe he can reclaim the title again. I think it's not an impossible task. You know what I mean? But as far as Dricus, man, if he fights Pereira, that's a whole nother video. I think he could beat Pereira. I really think he could beat Alex Pereira. Now, Pereira, I would probably still pick Pereira. But if you look at the logistics, you put the optics in, I might make a video about that, because I really think that's something that's something very interesting that I think Dricus could capitalize on. But we'll talk about that another time. But you guys let me know down below in the comment section, what do you think about the fight? I thought it was a really good competitive fight. Yeah, you guys let me know down below in the comment section. Peace, love, and prosperity. Love you. Do something productive with your day. Be your meat. It's not productive, right? Love you guys, man. You guys stay up. You guys stay blessed. Has been Fight Post J. And yeah, I'm out, man.